in this informative video, tripods. Alright, so you want to get started out making some videos, maybe at YouTube, maybe like home movies or something, and you find yourself needing a tripod. And I have three tripods that I have, and the first one I'm going to show you is one that's wasn't intended for filming. It's more of a tripod off of a cheap telescope that I had that fell apart, and it has a 10.5. It has the standard quarter 20 screw to mount a camera on, like you can see with my crappy GoPro wannabe, the Vivitar 786 HD, which I wouldn't recommend purchasing. I'd recommend either the ones that cost more that you can find at Best Buy, or the cheaper one that you can find at Walmart. But I have another video that I explain the reasons why I don't like this camera that much, but that's not what this video is about. This is just a cheap metal tripod that came with a telescope that I got given as a Christmas gift a few years ago, and it works quite well. I've used it several times, but it might be on the shorter side for you, and you might not like that it's on the shorter side. So that's that one. Another tripod I have, this is a recent purchase for me. This is the ON 58-inch one that you can get at Walmart. I think it's like 28 bucks. And I bought this tripod to replace the one that the camera's sitting on right now, because this is actually a nicer tripod. It's way nicer. It's a lot more sturdy. I mean, it's got this cheap little hand crank to, I gotta crank it the other way, that raises the little thing up. Not really necessary. I'm pretty sure this handle will break off at some point in time, but for 27 bucks, I can't really complain with this one. I mean, they have one that's like a Black Web brand that I think's the exact same thing. It's just the little legs that are right here are a bit longer to make it a little taller, but for an extra 20 bucks, I didn't think it was worth it to buy a tripod that was a little taller. And so I got this one. This is the one that I like on my camera. This is the one I bought. This is the one you're going to be seeing me film with, so instead of looking up at me, you're going to be looking at me. But yeah, no, I'd recommend this one. I mean, these are all cheap tripods that I have, and they make way nicer ones out there, but this is what I'm using. This is the tripod that I started out making videos with on here. This is, well, it says Targus on it, but this is the same as the ON 50-inch one that they sell at Walmart. That one's, I think, $18, which is okay. I mean, I really wouldn't put anything bigger on this other than like just your standard camcorder or small DSLR. I wouldn't trust putting any more weight on this than I have been putting on it, because it's really cheap. I mean, when you get it out, I mean, even when it's like this, I mean, it's pretty rickety. It's made out of really lightweight, cheap aluminum, and quite frankly, honestly, I'm still going to use it, but for $10 more, you can get a much better tripod like the one I'm using to film with the hand crank on it and actual sturdiness to it. And there are way nicer tripods. These are just what I have. So if you're wondering on that, I'm kind of doing this on a budget because I do it for free. But yeah, this one I wouldn't really recommend. I mean, it works. It'll hold a camera, but it's really rickety. It's really cheap. I mean, when you get down to the bottom part of the legs, I mean, they're super cheesy. They bend really easily, and I'm really amazed this hasn't fallen apart yet. All right, and all these tripods, other than the one for the telescope, because it's for a freaking telescope, come with a little base piece on them, and you can see that it has a little screw on it. It's quarter 20 if you're wondering what thread size it is, and that little screw piece right there is too long for most cameras. I mean, your standard camcorder will mount it just fine, but the way my microphone mounts underneath the camera, it has these little nubs with extra holes in them, so you can mount it underneath and still mount it to a tripod, and they're too shallow to fit a screw like that, which I remedied with a washer, which is just a cheap Jimmy rig, making it up as you go, just making things work. And just figured I'd put that little piece of technical information in there for you, since that's part of what these informative videos are about, is being informative even if they are a little bit vague. But the two tripods I showed you, the 58-inch and the 50-inch one, you can go buy in Walmart over by the cameras and stuff that they have back there, and I would recommend the 58-inch one, even though it's the On brand, because despite it being kind of cheap, it's a pretty sturdy tripod for $27 or however much it costs in your area. Milo! Get up, buddy. Milo! Milo! Milo!